Hey folks, I have to introduce you to this lovely, charming woman called Jordyn Jackson with her new album called September in the Garden. Now, she's not new in the music scene, and some of you may actually know her already for who she actually is. Let me tell you what Jim gave me. Jim Webb is the person who actually is giving me assistance with the contact details and with the information. Now, they're still working on finalizing the bio information, but here's what he sent me in advance. Jordyn just turned 25 last month. That was last December. And this is her first full-length album. Prior to this, she was the lead singer in a harder alternative rock band called Veronica's Veil, where she co-wrote their final EP, Enduring Winter, with Randy Winter. She also performed on their first EP, Middle of Nowhere, and she was also with Veronica's Veil for about 3 years. Prior to that, she wrote her own music and self-released a now out-of-print CD. One of those songs, co-written with Lee Miles, will be re-recorded later this month in Los Angeles with Lee and released as a single this spring. She is the only musician in the family, and both parents are happily married after 28 years, and she has a younger brother named Clay. She is mostly self-taught when it comes to music. On this album, she worked with musicians in New Orleans that I knew. They all worked together and arranged, produced, and recorded over a few weeks of September in the Garden District of New Orleans, hence the name of the album. Afterwards, we worked with Sean Grove, who usually works with rock and metal bands, on mixing it, and then we recorded it in Ed Roland's private studio, Edible Studios. He's a friend of mine, as well as the lead singer, songwriter in Collective Soul. We mixed it with Glen Rock, and all these guys really gave it a nice edge. Now, they'll have more as the days will advance in regards to the bio. One note that he is proud in mentioning is that one big thing about Jordyn is we fought tooth and nail over tuning of her vocals. She's dead set against it. But we eventually tuned 3 notes in the album. 3 notes. We're not talking about songs. Notes, okay? She wasn't happy, but came around when she realized that she could have sung them if they had enough time to get back in the studio. So she sounds great live versus a lot of other singers out there today, which is absolutely whiz-bang truth. You have to listen to the full album. She is a catch, a diamond in the rough. She deserves all the praise that we can give her. And I hope that she'll come in the Maritimes soon, especially for the Jazz Festival here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, the Harvest Jazz and Blues Festival. Because she'll get attention like there's no tomorrow. In regards to the people that gave her the power behind her chops, her pipes, they're well-versed musicians. Jim says that they're in their 20s, which matches the age set well. Regardless of that, they're all playing and singing for Jordyn. She sings like an old soul, and the musicians play like old souls, meaning that they play and sing with lots of experience behind them. Chris Arsenault on drums, Mike Broussard Jr. on saxophone, Sam Kraft and Jack Kraft on the strings, Sam Kraft on violin and Jack Kraft on cello, Beau Saint-Pierre on piano and trumpet, Tommy Skipple on upright bass, Jake Smith on acoustic guitar, and Joseph Walker on electric guitar. Now there's other instruments that are mentioned, but I can't really mention them all because they're not listed entirely based on what musician was doing what. But you have to take a gander at the disc, just to let you know how much of a person she is, okay? If looks could sink ships, this has just destroyed an armada. She's beautiful. Her voice is incredible in regards to what she can provide. The only downside that I have to give to this album, and it's not with any great regret, is that there's no original compositions on this. Unfortunately, they're all covers of songs that you probably have heard of. Crazy, Lover Man, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Squeeze Me, Lilac Wine, If I Fell, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, Autumn Leaves, Stormy Monday, and At Last. Regardless of the fact that these are songs that you've heard of before, she gives it a completely different flavor, and along with the fact that the people who helped to produce this and arrange it made this into something incredible. Just to give you a little bit more on that, Beau St. Pierre and Jake Smith did all the arrangements, and this is on Jim's own words. They and Jordyn crafted the overall sound of the album. Jordyn and I picked the original songs. Jake has his own band, which we'll outline right now. It's www.jakesmithmusic.com, that most of the other musicians play with. That's how I met them all. That I met Jake when he played there here in Jacksonville. That's how he met them all in Jacksonville. The guys that did the strings are brothers, Jack and Sam, and they listened to the songs and created their parts by ear, as they were only available one afternoon. So they had the 4 songs done, and they listened to them and played the tracks. Everything else was done together in the studio with all the other musicians, though. Now, there's one special credit that goes out to the sound engineer, because he played the lap steel guitar on Lilac Wine, just set up in front of the Pro Tools rig and played along. And his name, because he deserves credit also, is Jack Neal. Jack Neal. Now folks, I hope you really enjoy the music in the background. It's one of her tracks from the disc. I'll be hosting this disc on my show and talking a little bit more about her as more information comes to my availability. Please give her a chance. She's really a find that you need to add to any jazz vocal album and collection, for the simple fact that she's incredible. It's as simple as that. I cannot find enough words to give to her in regards to accolades and recognition, because she is changing music. In fact, as I wrote to Jim, I have to tell you folks this: she's a little bit of Michael Bublé and Diana Krall thrown into one. The perfect female vocalist package for jazz. So, give her a listen. I hope you enjoy this.